Hi, it's Adam from Reality Manifestation, and within this video, I'm going to be going through how to brainwash yourself in just 14 days. By the end of this video, you'll have a much deeper understanding of what's already been brainwashing you and not for your best interest. And you'll also have a process to follow that'll create a lasting change, and you'll know how to start brainwashing yourself. With that said, let's get straight into it. So just before I go through a process to where you can start brainwashing yourself and being able to reprogram your subconscious mind yourself, you first want to become aware of and be able to eliminate or at least minimize what's currently programming you outside of your current awareness. So I'm going to go through a list of changes you want to consider making that I highly recommend straight away, which I'll also go through the reasons why. Then I'll go through a list of ways to reprogram yourself that you'll want to apply daily. So the first thing you want to cut down on, or ideally eliminate, is the time you either read or watch the mainstream media, which I mean by this is any news networks. Whatever country you're in, it doesn't matter. The mainstream media is a business, and they have an agenda to make profit. And in order to create profit, they need to grab your attention. And over decades, they've hired top psychologists, and they know exactly what they're doing in order to manipulate the masses to follow the information they're putting out there, regardless of how accurate or exaggerated the information is. There's a part of our mind called the reticular activating system, which is always scanning all around us to see if there's anything important happening outside of our conscious awareness that it deems important to make us become aware of. So to give you a brief example, if you've recently purchased a car or someone close to you has, and you notice it all around you, that's because now to your reticular activating system, it deems it as important, so it will make you aware of it, because our conscious minds can only process so much information at any given time. If you want to know more about the reticular activating system, I've already done a video which I'll leave down below. And then there's also a part of our mind called the amygdala, which is like a trump card, so to speak, that has the priority of what gets flagged by the reticular activating system, basically what's brought into our conscious awareness. And it's been proven by tests and studies that news outlets and the mainstream media have done over decades, that news that's related to creating fear is proven to sell more. So this is why, as you may have already noticed, the mainstream media is so negative and fear-mongering, which also conditions your mind to keep looking for reasons to be fearful of or frightened. And it literally conditions you to limit your potential, and it also blinds you from potential opportunities, because your reticular activating system is no longer helping you find them as much as what it could do potentially. It also conditions you to meet your need for certainty by going back to the mainstream media to find out what's supposedly happening in the world. So the first thing you want to do is to cut down on or completely eliminate the time you spend watching or reading the mainstream media. And then if you haven't done so already, you want to reduce your intake of sugar. Now if you find in your diet you're currently already eating a lot of sugar, I'm not suggesting to cut out artificial sugar completely. However, the more you eliminate it, the better off you'll be. This won't only improve your health, but also on a psychological level, you'll find it much easier to create changes as your neural pathways will fire better, your biochemistry will improve, so it'll make it much easier as you move on to the following steps to create a more empowering state of mind and identity, When you've cut down on the mainstream media or cut it out, then reduced your sugar intake, then want to move on to designing a new identity. With any permanent lasting changes comes in a change in our identity. Our identity is just a series of beliefs of how we view ourselves or who we view ourselves to be. One of the best ways of doing this is to ask yourself a series of questions, as this will bring up to the surface of who you truly are and who you truly want to be, and also writing it down. If you want to know how to do this and have a process that also includes questions, I've already done a video on this that I'll also leave down below. To give you an example of why this is so important, say for example you want to become more action orientated or someone who's an achiever, but you identify yourself as someone who is a procrastinator, you'll subconsciously keep being led to procrastinating, putting things off, because that's how you identify yourself. And this is the strongest level of a belief, is any belief about our identity, in which you identify yourself to be. After you've designed a new identity, you want to immediately make a commitment to something that aligns with this new identity. So for example, if you'd previously identified as someone who is lazy or overweight, you want to immediately commit to something that's your new identity. If you've now identified as someone who is fit and healthy, you could join a gym, for example, take up an exercise class, start a martial art, or anything similar that relates to your new identity, as this will begin to condition it in and tell your reticular activating system that you're serious, and it will find new opportunities and reasons to confirm back to you your new identity. Then after you've designed a new identity and made a commitment that aligns with it, you then want to make a list of reasons why you're going to commit to this new identity and what will happen if you don't. You want to use this to associate pain to your current identity and also pain to if you don't change now, because in order for any real serious change to happen, you first have to associate pain to what it is, whether it's a belief, a habit, an aspect of yourself that you're wanting to change. If you're unfamiliar with how to do this, I'll also leave a video in the description box down below. In case any of you are feeling lost with these steps, I'll also leave a list in the order of what steps to follow down below. The next step is to cut out or at least reduce time you spend with toxic people. So if you have any friends, work colleagues, even family members, and I'm not suggesting to cut out family members out of your life, but for those of you who aren't related to you or you don't need in your life, either cut them out or reduce the time you have to spend with them as much as possible. So you may want to spend some time reflecting, asking questions. What's the overall impact certain people are having in your life? And for a good majority of you, I'm sure you can think of at least one person, maybe even several, where at least some aspects of your life might be slightly improved, or your overall life would be improved by minimizing the time or completely cutting that person out of your life. The final step before moving on to what you can do on a daily basis to brainwash yourself and reprogram your subconscious mind is to set an intention and ask the universe for either a sign or guidance. So for whatever it is you're wanting to brainwash yourself to be like, or you're wanting to reprogram and condition yourself to be, either a new habit, something you're unclear with within your life, set an intention out by simply speaking out aloud or asking very loudly within your mind. But the most important thing is you set it out with emotion, and that you let go and trust that something greater than yourself is going to answer or give you a sign for what you're seeking, whether it's the universe, God, spirits, whatever you believe in, to trust and let go that something greater than yourself is going to bring you the answer, and then to let go of it and keep it outside of your conscious awareness. Then once you've followed all of these steps, you want to give the following your all for the next 14 days, and you'll start to see a huge change and shift within your life. So the first thing you want to do on a daily basis is form the habit of asking yourself empowering questions. So whatever you're wanting to achieve, whatever you're wanting to feel or experience, you want to ask yourself questions that presuppose it's already happened right now. So for example, how did I manage to achieve so much? Why am I so grateful? How come I'm so happy right now? What did I do to become this athletic? As questions force your mind to search and come up with an answer, even if it's not true. And if you ask yourself enough questions enough times on a consistent basis, it will start to feel true, and eventually it'll become a part of your identity and your beliefs, and you'll start to attract new opportunities and feel it within yourself based on the questions you're asking yourself. You also want to set aside a time for at least 5 minutes where you're visualizing yourself being this new version of yourself with the new identity you've designed and going towards achieving your goals, then also embodying the state of the new version of yourself you've designed with your new identity. What I mean by state is how you're feeling moment to moment. So basically the state of mind that you're in, which is made up of 3 main areas, which is made up of your physiology, so basically how you're moving your body, your breathing, your facial expression, what you're focusing on, the meaning that you're attaching to it, and also the language and the words that you're using. So I've already covered this in several videos, but I want to leave a video down below that covers this in more detail. So to recap what you're going to do on a daily basis, that's if you're wanting to follow these steps to brainwash and reprogram yourself, is to ask yourself empowering questions, to visualize yourself being the new version of yourself with the new identity and also embodying the state. So what I mean by this is going about your day in the state of your physiology, what you're focusing on, and also your patterns of language that embodies this new identity, and you'll start to find in a short period of time you'll more and more reprogram yourself towards who you're wanting to be. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, if you could like it, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Also share this with anyone you know who's been wanting to know how to create a change within themselves, and also comment down below which of these steps you're going to apply that you believe will make the biggest change and shift within your life. I hope you found this video useful, and I shall see you soon.